Good evening. A 10-year inquiry into Catholic-run institutions in Ireland has concluded that priests and nuns terrorised thousands of boys and girls for decades. In a highly damning report, government inspectors are accused of failing to stop the chronic beating, rape and humiliation of children at a network of industrial and reformatory schools between the 1930s and the 1990s. Victims have said they feel empty and cheated by the government's failure to protect them.
Beatings, abuse, rape. For decades, young vulnerable children were mistreated in homes like this one by staff who were supposed to protect them. Today's report says children lived in daily terror. The authorities knew about the abuse but did nothing to stop it.
He kicked you and punched you and lashed you with leathers, you know.
How frightened were you?
Like, you know, when you were small, like, really terrified, you know.
Are sick of what's going on within the Catholic Church.
It was only when senior figures in the church were challenged that investigations began. Today, victims were told it should never have happened.
When you take people into a state-regulated, statutory system of care, whether it's right or wrong to subject them to such detention, you owe them a duty to take proper care of them. And it cannot be an answer to a complaint about abuse or inadequate care that the people would have been worse off if you hadn't taken them in.
But some leaving the news conference said the investigation had not gone far enough. The perpetrators have to be brought to justice.
We need to see those who committed the abuse who are alive prosecuted. We need to see those in the hierarchy of the church and the religious orders brought to the criminal courts. And we need to see the Department of Health and Education, who was responsible for the monitoring, regulation and welfare of the children, which they abdicated. Responsibility. We want them made accountable.
The institutions may now be closed, but for victims, the memories will live forever. Nicola Pearson, BBC News.
Well, our correspondent Shane Harrison is in Dublin and joins us now. Shane.
Well, Nick, this report is truly shocking, documenting 30, 40, 50 years of physical abuse, sexual abuse, endemic sexual abuse and emotional abuse by the most innocent victims in institutions run by the Catholic Church. I'm now joined by one of those victims, John Kelly, the coordinator of survivors of child abuse. John, in the report we've just heard, we heard you saying that you're not satisfied, and yet the report does go some way, does it not, towards chronicling what you've been saying?
Well, we have known about that before this inquiry started. There's little comfort of victims in the fact that the inquiry itself has said that the children were raped and brutally tortured. We accept that. However, victims will feel that this inquiry didn't go far enough. It didn't investigate the unconstitutional way the courts sent these children unlawfully to the institutions. They wouldn't have been abused if they weren't sent there. They also feel that the sponsor of this commission, which was the Department of Education, part of the state, that did not cooperate, wouldn't hand over documents, and in fact the judge resigned because the state refused and went out of his way to obstruct the commission.
There is a suspicion on the part of some in the church that many people are coming forward looking for money from the religious orders. Is it about money?
No, it certainly isn't about money. We had a chap who went on hunger strike because this commission wouldn't listen to it, wouldn't listen to the victims. It is not about money. We have put our own hearts, our souls, we have relived this for years, and yet we end up with nothing. We ended up with a whitewash. The scars are still open, they're festering, bearing in mind the Taoiseach promised us a proper apology in 1999 and said we'd get justice. We haven't got justice, and those scars are still open and festering. They invited us to open them this state, and yet they're doing what they did to us as children, and they're abusing us all over again.
John Kelly, thank you very much indeed. This report, Nick, it's only the first of two major reports into the whole issue of child sex abuse in the Catholic Church. The report is due out sometime next month into what happened over 30-odd years in the Diocese of Dublin, and the Archbishop of Dublin, Dermot Martin, has warned that people will be shocked by what's in that report.
Shane in Dublin, thank you very much. The leader